Algebra 2, Common Core. Determine the equation of a parabola from 3 points. The previous video, if you're following the series here, was solving 3-equation, 3-variable systems. So when we have 3 equations with 3 variables, we can condense it to be 2 equations, 2 variables, and condense that to be 1 equation, 1 variable, and then go backwards and solve. Basically, we're going to try to do the same thing here. We just have to first create this 3-variable, 3-equation system. And we do that from the knowledge that a parabola or a quadratic has a standard form of y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're given 3 points on this parabola. So what we can do is we can replace these coordinates with x and y, and that's going to create an equation that has 3 variables, a, b, and c. And if I do that for all 3, I'll have 3 equations, 3 variables, and we can do the process basically we did over here. So one at a time, we need to plug those in. So it starts with y equals. So using my first point here for y equals, that would be -3 equals. And then ax squared is a times the x squared. The x in this case is -2. That squares to 4. But I'm not going to write a4. Once we have a number, we put that in front as a coefficient in front of the variable, not a4 for a. And then bx is b times x. B times -2 is -2b. And then the plus c is going to always be plus c for all 3 of these because there's no x or y over here that's going to change that. So it's going to always be plus c. But our second one here, this is x, this is y. So because y is 5, it's going to be 5 equals. And then ax squared, a times x squared. A times 2 squared is, again, 4a. And b times x is b times 2, so this time positive 2b, and plus c. And then our third equation, our y is -4, equals a times x squared is -1 squared is positive 1, so that's just a. B times x, bx, b times -1 is -b, plus c. So this is my 3-variable, 3-equation system. So basically we are now where we were in the previous video. I need to combine these down. Now combining these I actually think is a little bit easier than these because for these you have to kind of say, all right, what's going to work best, canceling x, canceling y, canceling z. For these, again, you still have those choices, and even right here I see I could cancel b's pretty easily, but I always solve these canceling c's because if every equation's plus c, it's very easy to cancel out the c's by just picking your top equation, or any of them, but I always choose the top, and multiplying it by -1. Because then I'm going to end up with an equation that has a -c, and I can combine it with the second and combine it with the third. And that'll give me 2 equations with c canceled out, and then I'm down to my 2-equation, 2-variable system. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply this top equation by -1. That gives me +3 equals -4a plus 2b minus c. And I'm going to write it twice because I'm actually going to use it twice. -4a plus 2b minus c. Once I'm going to pair it with my second equation, 5 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. And once pairing it with my third equation, -4 equals a minus b plus c. And what do we get? This 5 and 3 is 8. And then actually, this was kind of a generous question here because the a's also cancel out and so do the c's, and I'm left with just 4b. And then I can divide and b equals 2. So this was a nice example. Usually, in this case, the a's won't cancel out. I'll have something a, something b, like I will over here probably. This will give me -1 equals -3a plus 1b. And so if the a didn't cancel out, I'd pair it with this one and try to eliminate the a or the b and then back solve. But here I actually can start back solving right away because I have b equals 2. So I could plug that in right here. -1 equals -3a plus 2 minus 2. I get -3 is -3a, and divide a equals 1. But remember, this isn't always going to happen like this. You know, sometimes you'll be lucky and you'll get multiple columns that cancel out like we did here. But if not, I would just do the two variable system like we did here, where it's basically the same thing. I'm trying to eliminate a variable, that whole process. Now I have A, B. I just got to find C. Let me pick an equation here. It doesn't really matter which one. I'll take the middle green one here. 5 equals 4A plus 2B plus C. And so 5 equals 4. A is 1, so it's really just 4. 2B, when B is 2 times 2. That's also 4. Plus C. 5 equals 8 plus C. Subtract that 8, and C equals negative 3. And then in the previous video, our answer was really just getting the, 3 variable coordinate. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to determine the equation of a parabola. And the equation of the parabola comes from y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So now that I have a, b, and c, don't forget to write the answer. Y equals a is 1, so 1x squared. I'm just going to write x squared. Bx is plus 2x, and plus c is minus 3. So that's your final answer. And the check here is very simple, very quick, because I can type this quadratic into my calculator, x squared plus 2x minus 3, and just take a look at the table. And what I'm looking at the table is I'm looking for the point negative 2, negative 3. I see it right there. It's small, but I see it. 2, 5 right there. And then my third point, negative 1, negative 4 right there. So just see if all three of these points are on the table of this equation. So that's really it. One at a time, plug them into y equals ax squared plus bx plus c for x and y, and that's going to give you equations that have a, b, and c. And because they all have plus c, a good option is to multiply one of them by negative 1 and then combine. But you have other options there, other paths you can take. Just cancel out a variable, get a couple of systems. Sometimes you're lucky and a variable falls out. Sometimes it requires another two-equation, two-variable system. But we just do that process, and then once you get them, you back solve. But don't forget to write the answer. The answer is the equation. It's not just ABC this time. We want the equation of the parabola, not just find ABC. So your final answer is going to be an equation, and the calculator is a real nice, easy way to check your answer for this. And you know for sure you got the question completely correct. All right, see ya.